Camera lens filters are a key tool for any pro filmmaker or pro photographer, and now there's some great quality filters that are available to help you create better smartphone videos and photos as well. So which filters should you have in your video kit? How should you use them? And what's the best Android and iPhone camera lens filter brand that we would recommend? I'll be covering all of that off and more in this video. Hey, it's Justin Brown here from Primal Video. We release a ton of content to help you get better results with your videos faster. If you're new here, then make sure you click that big subscribe button, and all the links to everything we mentioned in this video, you can find linked in the description box below. So let's jump into it. Lens filters are a key tool in any pro filmmaker or photographer's kit, and for good reason. They can not only improve the detail and composition of your shots under the right conditions, but they can also unlock a huge amount of creative potential and flexibility. Whether you're shooting videos or photos, they can easily help you do things like remove glare and also totally change how the motion is captured. When I've been shooting on my smartphone, I've really missed having a decent set of filters and all the extra flexibility that provides. I've been experimenting with filters for smartphones for quite a while now, and I hadn't found any that I'd give a solid thumbs up and recommend on the channel. Most of them were made from cheap plastic and definitely didn't hit the quality bar that I was looking for, until now. Sandmark recently reached out and offered to send us some free filters to test. I took a look at their website and they made some pretty big promises. So we gave them our standard terms that we'd love to, but we can't guarantee a video. We'll put them through their paces and we'll only review it if we like it and recommend it. They agreed, we got the filters, we tested them out, and that was so good that we thought it was finally time to get some smartphone filters up on the channel. So in this video, we're gonna look at which lens filters I'd recommend starting out with in your smartphone video kit, how you can use them to improve your videos, as well as my recommended iPhone lens filters that also work for most Androids. Plus, make sure you stick around because after we're done, I'm gonna show you my #1 tip for getting the most out of your smartphone when it comes to video quality. And while you're watching, make sure you drop a comment down below and let us know what your #1 tip or accessory is for shooting better videos on your smartphone. And while you're down there, make sure you check out the ideas that other people have posted as well, because there's always a ton of great tips and hacks from the Primal Video community. So let's quickly start out with what a filter actually is. A filter is something that sits on the outside of your camera lens to help you change up the shot. So it could be something like a polarized filter, which will allow you to remove the glare. It could be something like an ND filter, which will darken down your shot to give you a different look or a different motion capture for your videos or for your photos. Could be a colored filter or a gradient filter to totally change the look of the image or the video that you're capturing. So there's a heap of different filters out there, and essentially they're there as a creative tool to help you get more out of your cameras. So the two main filters that I would recommend to start with for anyone that's shooting video would be an ND filter or a neutral density filter and a polarized filter. Now what an ND filter will allow you to do is to limit the amount of light or restrict the amount of light that is sent through onto your camera sensor. So it's essentially like putting a pair of sunglasses in front of your camera lens. It's going to darken the shot down. So what this lets you do is change how motion is captured in either your photos or your videos by changing the amount of light that's let in. So this will give you more control over things like your aperture, your ISO, and your shutter speed, because you'll now be able to restrict the light before you even get to adjusting those three settings, which is the three settings that you would normally use to adjust the brightness and the look of your shot. So in regards to creating videos with a smartphone, adding an ND filter will allow you to shoot at lower shutter speeds, which means that you're able to get a more cinematic look. Or it can also help you bring motion blur into your shots as well if you're after some more creativity with your filming. Now in regards to photography, once again, an ND filter is going to help you limit the amount of light coming into the camera, which will let you play with the different exposure settings and get more control over those. So this would be perfect if you want to create a long exposure shot of something like a waterfall, where you get that nice look of the water where it's all blurred and flowing smoothly instead of just freezing time over one split second. So it gives you a huge range of creative control just by limiting and changing the amount of light that you're letting into the camera itself. Now, a polarized filter is normally used to help remove or limit the amount of glare or reflections from water or from bright surfaces. So a polarized filter is ideal if you're going to be using it down at the lake, down at the beach, somewhere where you've got a heap of glare coming off the water, or you can also use it to get creative and get some different looks with your scenery shots or scenic shots as well. So you can use it to bring out more blue in the sky or more green in the grass. So you can get creative with your polarized filters as well. So think of it as your polarized sunglasses. When you put them on, it cuts out the glare, and you also get a different look or a different lot of colors through. So it's exactly the same thing. Okay, so now let's take a look at the Sandmark filters. The ones that we've got is the Polarizing Filter and the ND Filter kit as well. So what you get in the box is obviously the filter itself. You also get the hard carry case, which is a solid case, and your filters definitely aren't going to get damaged in here. And you also get the clip, which is used to mount the filter and clip it onto your smartphone. So straight out, my first impressions were that this is definitely a high quality filter set. You could tell straight away the build quality is awesome. Just looking at the glass, it's high quality. Now I've seen some really cheap sets and yeah, this definitely isn't one of them. So in the Polarized Filter kit, it's actually a circular polarizer. So you can adjust the amount or the level of the polarization when you're using the filter. So that's really, really cool. And with the ND filters, they actually come in 3 different gradients or 3 different levels. And these are stackable, meaning that if you want to add multiples together to really darken down your shot, then you've got that ability to. So that's really cool. And really, because all these filters are all the exact same size and all have the same thread, it means you can actually even add the polarized filter on to use with the ND filters as well. So that's pretty cool. So to use them, all you need to do is screw the lens onto the clip and then clip the clip onto your smartphone. Now, when you're clipping it onto your smartphone, you want to make sure that it is 100% centered over the camera lens. Now these will work on both the front facing and the rear cameras on most smartphones. They do have a list of certified or recommended devices on their website. These include most of the modern iPhones. So everything, it says from 5C and up to the latest iPhones, but I'm sure it would actually work fine on some of the older iPhones as well. On the Android side, there's a heap of supported devices, everything from the Moto G through the Google Pixel, all the way up to the latest Samsung Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus. Now, really looking at the design of these filters, they should really work with most smartphones. I'd be pretty surprised if it doesn't work for your particular phone, but with any of the smartphones that have the dual cameras on the back, you just want to make sure that you are putting the filters over the correct lens, depending on which one you're going to be using. So when we're testing out the filters, they worked exactly as you would expect for high quality filters. There was no vignetting, there was no warping, there was nothing noticeable that there was even a lens filter attached to the camera while we were using them. So that's really all you can ask for when you're using filters on your cameras. One thing to be aware of though is that in a lot of cases you'll want to remove your phone case while you're using these filters for best results, so that the clip will actually mount properly to your phone and that the filter will sit hard up against your camera lens. The filters themselves worked exactly as they should. There's 3 levels of darkness with the ND filters. They bundle in an ND4, an ND8 and an ND16, and obviously you can stack those up, and they worked really, really well, and we were able to get some amazing shots, both video and stills. And the polarized filter was exactly the same. It worked as you would expect for a high quality filter set for a professional camera. So it's amazing to have these filters such high quality for your smartphone use as well. And with the polarized filter, having it as an adjustable polarized filter where you just turn the outside and you're able to adjust the amount of polarization in your shot is amazing. And it saves having to swap out 3 or 4 different ones to be able to get the level of polarization you'd like. You simply just rotate the lens as you would with a professional polarizer to get the look that you're after. So it's absolutely amazing to have these filters available for your smartphones as well. All right, so now I know that you're just hanging out for the price. How much are these filters? Well, you can currently pick up the ND filter kit for $59.99 on Amazon, and you can pick up the Polarized filter kit for $29.99. So amazing value considering what these lenses will let you do and how much more creative control you'll have over your videos and your photos from your smartphone. Now, before we cover off on my #1 tip for getting better video results with your smartphone, let's take a look at who I'd recommend these lenses for. Well, obviously I'm going to recommend them to someone who is serious about taking their photography or their video with their smartphone to the next level. So if you're looking to get long exposure photos or long exposure videos, to change up the motion, to have more cinematic looking videos, and you're serious about creating professional looking videos and photos using your smartphone, then these are for you. So who would I not recommend these lenses for? Well, obviously someone who is not going to use them. If you've got no need for an ND filter or for a polarized filter, you're just happy with your smartphone photos and videos the way they are and applying filters using things like Instagram or Snapseed after you've created your photos, then this obviously isn't for you. This is really for those people that like to do everything in camera and get the most out of their camera, pushing the boundaries of what you can create with your smartphone, then yeah, this is for you. So if you're not that, then obviously don't spend the money on these filters. Now in regards to my number one tip to get the most out of your smartphone when it comes to creating quality videos with your smartphone, it's to use a third-party camera app or an aftermarket camera app. Get away from using the built-in one that came with your phone and get some power in behind your videos. So this will allow you to do things like lock down your shutter speed, your ISO, your white balance, and a heap of other advanced controls that you would normally just find on your DSLR or video camera. You've got all that power that you can harness and lock down in your smartphone as well using an app like Filmic Pro. So check out the video linked on screen now for a full walkthrough of the key settings to use when you're using Filmic Pro on your smartphone, whether it's an iOS or an Android device. And I'll see you soon.